big news just dropped from people close to both sides. Jalen Brunson and Victor Wembanyama have a fierce rivalry, and it's one of the biggest in NBA history. It's about to shake up the whole league. Right after the Knicks won the 2026 finals, Brunson did something so wild that NBA officials scrambled within 6 hours. And get this, he wasn't done yet. Wait until you hear what he said about Wemby's whole career. For 2 years, NBA media sold us a fake, friendly rivalry between these two. That lie fell apart fast. Why? A 6-second clip from a club right after the Knicks won it all showed Brunson leading a crowd of fans in a loud "Cue Wemby" chant. Worse, that clip hit 15 million views in just 6 hours. NBA PR teams probably panicked watching their golden boy image crumble. Knicks fans flooded Twitter, calling it old school grit. Spurs fans fired back, asking why a champion would use his big moment to attack Wemby. Then came the best part. The next morning, reporters pushed Brunson to blame the champagne and apologize. He refused. He looked straight into the camera and doubled down with this.
You all hyped him, but forgot who the real MVP is.
That line didn't come from jealousy. It came from a man who spent his whole career being ignored. And that's the real story here. Everyone thought this beef just exploded because of finals pressure. But dig into the regular season archives and the truth gets way wilder. People love to act like this fight came out of nowhere during the finals. It didn't. It started March 29, 2024 at the Frost Bank Center. That night, Brunson exploded for a career-high 61 points for traveling Knicks fans. He came 1 point short of tying Carmelo Anthony's franchise scoring record. That should have been the only headline. But Wembanyama, still a rookie, stole the spotlight with 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 assists, leading San Antonio to an overtime win. Then it got worse. Right after the final buzzer, Wemby grabbed the game ball and launched it into the upper deck, so no one could save it for Brunson's trophy case. The league agreed he went too far. The next day, Wemby got hit with a $25,000 fine, but fans forgot what happened next in the press room. Wemby sat down and said he'd never seen so much greatness on a court, sounding like real respect for Brunson.
I mean, we see, I've never seen so much greatness before. And the season has been going on for just some months.
For Wemby, it was just about competing hard. Once the game ended, he tried to show respect, but it was too late. Brunson already took it as a personal insult, and any respect between them died right there. Honestly, that makes sense. You can't disrespect a veteran's big night, then smooth it over with a soundbite. Actions speak loud, and Brunson heard them loud and clear. This wasn't about insecurity, it was about respect. When a player drops a career-high 61 points, that ball belongs in his trophy case, period. By tossing it, Wemby stepped all over that moment just to make a statement. Even Shaquille O'Neal called it disrespectful on his podcast, a rookie hijacking a superstar's milestone ball. So like any competitor, Brunson never forgot it. He saw it as a declaration of war. Fast forward to Game 3 of the 2026 finals, and that old tension turned into real violence. Early in the first quarter, Brunson went to set a routine screen. Wembanyama shoved him hard by the head and neck, slamming him to the floor. The refs called nothing, no review. The game just moved on. The next day, the NBA's head of officiating, Monty McCutcheon, admitted on national TV that the refs blew the call. It should have been a foul. But the league still refused to upgrade it to a flagrant foul after review. Meanwhile, insiders close to Wemby say his aggression all series was partly payback because the Knicks were fouling him hard every time he touched the floor. Their real game plan in Game 5? Pure physicality. Coach Mike Brown looked at a 7'4" Wemby protecting the rim and knew attacking him there was a losing battle. So the Knicks ditched their usual offense and ran endless pick and rolls just to drag Wemby out to the three-point line, hoping to wear him down guarding quick guards for 48 minutes straight. And this wasn't just Game 5. All series long, the Knicks' plan was to exhaust Wemby with switches and hit him with hard, physical bumps on every possession. In Game 4, after Wemby scored tough over Mitchell Robinson, he pointed to his ear, taunting the Knicks bench. A few plays later, Robinson lost it and threw a hard elbow straight into Wemby's face.
There's not much you're going to be able to do about that if you're Mitchell Robinson, but you can see right here, Wemby's telling him, I'm in your head, as he's going down the floor. This is what...
Now, here's going to be the interesting thing. So
That was just one moment out of dozens where Knicks players targeted Wemby all series long. Draymond Green even said on his podcast that New York played dirty because they were scared of getting embarrassed by a 22-year-old on the world's biggest stage. And here's another twist. If the league had called that hit on Brunson a flagrant, Wemby would have been one step from a postseason suspension. He already had flagrant points on his record from a clash with Naz Reid earlier in the playoffs. But look past the bruises, and this rivalry runs way deeper than basketball. What's coming next changes how people see this whole story. The real root of this beef is two completely different paths to the top. Brunson is a self-made grinder, drafted 33rd, told he was too small. He fought for every single inch of respect. Wemby, on the other hand, was treated like a chosen one before he even landed in the NBA. Brunson isn't mad that Wemby is tall or gifted. He's mad the media crowned Wemby before the finals even started, while ignoring the guy actually torching the court. To Brunson, it's simple. One man earned his stripes, the other got handed the keys. Nike built a whole global campaign around Wemby, calling him the alien, before he played a single real NBA game. Brunson got the opposite treatment his entire career, told he was too small, dropped to pick 33 in 2018, and forced to fight for every ounce of respect. Same sport, completely different journeys. So when the media crowned Wemby during the finals while Brunson was out there cooking everyone, of course it hit different for a guy who had to prove himself again and again. The disrespect runs deep. Back in 2023, Becky went on ESPN and said straight up that the Knicks don't have a true elite player because you can't win a title with a small guy leading your team.
But at the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. And they're missing that at the end of the day if we're just getting down to brass taxes.
When the Knicks made a deep playoff run, reporters asked her about that comment again. She doubled down, live on TV.
I said, I don't know why that's being brought, like why everybody's so stuck on that. I said it 2 years ago. I stand by it.
The moment the Knicks won the title, Brunson's own sister jumped on social media. She quoted that old comment and asked what people had to say now. To Brunson, Wemby is the overhyped media darling, handed endless attention without grinding through the struggles that shaped Brunson's career. Now, to be fair, Wemby works hard, nobody's denying that. The training, the discipline since his teenage years in France, it's real. But hard work doesn't cancel out disrespect. You can grind every day and still make a rookie mistake, like throwing another man's milestone ball into the stands. Both things are true. Wemby earned respect on the court. Brunson earned his through a decade of grinding. Neither fact erases the other. But here's why the league pushed Wemby so hard. After digging through interviews with NBA analysts, one truth kept coming up. The league rode the Wemby wave because he pulled in millions of new, casual international fans. Smart business move, sure. Fair to Brunson, who was having the best stretch of his career? That's a different question. So Brunson realized the media would never give him equal attention no matter how much he scored. If he couldn't win the popularity contest, he'd win on the court instead. That's why the Knicks hunted Wemby on the perimeter with pick and rolls. It wasn't fear of attacking the rim, it was smart basketball. Brunson uses low center of gravity to get under Wemby's reach, stopping cold through mid-range shots right in his face. He dropped 45 points on 14 of 27 shooting to close out the championship. That wasn't just a good game. It was Brunson proving once and for all that he's not just a small player, he's a champion. And here's the wild part. Even while getting hunted, Wemby still locked down the paint. He didn't fold. He put up 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks trying to carry a tired Spurs squad. They only stayed in the game because rookie Dylan Harper came off the bench fearless, scoring 25 points, while the Spurs veterans went quiet when it mattered most. The final seconds of that 94-93 game were tense. A slim 4-point lead barely held on to end New York's 53-year title drought. Kevin Garnett posted right after, calling it the best basketball we've seen in decades. You'd think the story ends there. It doesn't. Right after the buzzer, while the Knicks were celebrating, Wemby turned his back on the entire team and walked straight to the tunnel, skipping the usual post-game handshakes. The internet exploded, comparing it to the famous 1981 Pistons walk-off on Michael Jordan. Then, in the press room, Wemby skipped the usual script completely. He claimed San Antonio actually dominated most of the series and said their own mistakes, not the Knicks, cost them the title. Basically, he called the Knicks lucky. Then he stood up and told reporters, "See y'all never." Brunson saw that, a guy he already had beef with, now calling his first championship a fluke. That arrogance is exactly why Brunson felt fine leading that Q Wemby chant. But there's a toyist mainstream media buried while everyone picks sides online. Spurs fans pointed out something hypocritical. Brunson and his teammate had spent the whole season trash-talking the league on their own podcast. Brunson and Josh Hart turned The Roommate Show into their personal media playground, shading players without ever facing real consequences. Fans think it's just two friends laughing on a couch. It's actually a calculated way to control the league's narrative. The clearest example, Josh Hart trashed Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year award on camera, saying Gobert gets exposed by any quick guard switch. He named guys like Holiday and Bam Adebayo as the real top defenders, while Brunson just sat there, smiling, silent, hands clean. It's a smart move. Brunson gets to endorse the disrespect without ever saying a word himself, keeping his golden boy image intact. Gobert saw the clip everywhere online and wasn't having it. Their next matchup in Madison Square Garden turned into one of the most physical games of the year. During a scramble for a rebound, the tension exploded into a full wrestling match on the floor. Hart shoved Gobert and tried to trip him, earning a flagrant foul after review. But the real fireworks came after the game, when Gobert told reporters some guys should talk less trash on podcasts and play more real defense on the court. Here's the part that really surprised me though. This whole Brunson-Wemby feud helped turn the 2026 finals into one of the biggest global sports events ever. The first 4 games on ABC pulled in 19.6 million viewers, nearly double the year before, because fans were tired of low-stakes, small-market matchups. It became the most-watched finals since Michael Jordan's last shot in 1998. Stars like Taylor Swift, Larry David, and Chris Rock paid big money for courtside seats just to be seen at the biggest event on earth. Networks like ESPN and Fox Sports realized this rivalry was pure gold for ratings, so they leaned hard into the drama, turning a basketball series into a made-for-TV battle. Networks played up the contrast between New York's bright lights and a 7'4" international star from Texas to rake in views. That pressure pushed both players to chase bigger and bigger performances every night, which is exactly why things got physical enough for elbows to start flying. Brunson knew that if he let a 22-year-old take his ring, the media would call him a fraud for the next decade. So what happens now? Because this rivalry isn't ending, it's spilling straight into next season, and nobody's ready. Adam Silver is reportedly stressed behind closed doors trying to figure out how to schedule these two teams without sparking an all-out brawl. Officials know the ref will be on edge every time these squads meet again. Wemby's already locked in training in Texas, using this loss as fuel to come back stronger. Meanwhile, Brunson is reportedly trying to bring in tougher, more physical players to help the Knicks handle Wemby next time. This isn't just basketball anymore. It's a multi-year rivalry that could reshape the entire balance of power in the NBA.